It's the first patch since Act 3 started, and we've been teased quite a bit about what's coming for this update. I hope your grind is going well so far, because it's about to get a lot more interesting with Chamber's official release and some interesting new rank queue changes. What is going on, ProGuides family? It is your host Sergeant Frost, and we've got a significant patch to talk about early on in Act 3. This might change the whole trajectory of this act, so you guys don't want to miss out on what's going on. But as always, if you want to make sure that you're never behind the curve in Valorant, make sure to come check us out at ProGuides.com, where our Radiant and Immortal level coaches are there to make sure you improve faster than everyone else in your rank. So if you're interested in climbing the rank ladder at top speeds, click the link in the description to get started. And now let's get into this patch rundown. Starting off this patch notes with the biggest news that you need to know about, the new Sentinel Agent Chamber will now be live when this patch 3.10 drops. The wait is over. Chamber was delayed for a little bit, but I'm sure you guys have seen Chamber gameplay videos pop up on your feed lately from the PvE. Happy hunting to all you new Chamber mains out there. His abilities are already covered in a past video, but we'll make a guide in the future to cover his abilities in more detail. I'm super hyped to play him, and I can't wait to see whether he can be a genuine Jet replacement or not. Next up, we're getting a huge change to how the rank queue system works going forward for 5 stacks, but it does have limitations. Basically, the competitive queue will now let you 5-stack with any rank, no restrictions, for the most part. This was proposed in an effort to reduce smurfing in the game, but it could introduce a lot more issues as well. But don't worry guys, it's not a doomsday for any solo or duo queue players. So, there are a lot of caveats to this new queue system change. So let's go through all the rules so you can get an idea of what you will and won't expect. First off, the biggest thing that should be noted is that 5 stacks will only go against 5 stacks. I don't know if there's any leniency with this, but it seems like there's no situation where a 5-stack will go against a team of solos and duos. Okay, with that said, if everyone in your group is Diamond 2 and below, the first thing you should expect is an increased queue time across the board. Along with that, rank rating gains and losses will be reduced when playing in a 5-stack with a wide range of ranks. The amount that your RR is adjusted depends on your rank disparity within the group. The devs give an example that says, you party up with 4 players in a stack. The lowest team member is Silver 1 and the highest is Platinum 1. Since your highest and lowest are one rank outside of typical limitations, your team will be given a 50% RR reduction. Now, say for instance you're in the same group, but one of them is Bronze 1. The skill disparity has increased to more than 4 ranks outside of the standard group restrictions. So your stack will now be given a 75% reduction in RR gains as a result of this rank discrepancy. So what happens if someone is Diamond 3 and above? The system will still wait indefinitely for another 5-stack group of similar MMR to match you against. At minimum, a 50% RR reduction will be applied to all 5 stacks, including a member from ranks above D3. And this amount can increase to 90% as the disparity in skill increases. Let's say for instance, 4 of your group members are Immortal and one of your friends gets on and he's Diamond 2. The whole squad will now receive a 75% reduction in RR gains. If your D2 friend grinds with you and manages to hit D3 while playing in the group, your whole squad will now just be penalized with a 50% RR reduction to gains. It's worth noting that these penalties will only be applied to a 5-stack that is Diamond 3 and above. And finally, let's say one or more of your group members are Radiant. At a minimum, you will face a 75% reduction in RR gains for playing in a 5-stack. And now playing with any player below Radiant automatically reduces your potential RR by 90%, so it's a pretty big reduction. Keep in mind that throughout this, the devs are always saying, be ready for a drastic increase in queue times. So this probably won't be a very viable way to rank up, but more is a good way to play with friends if you guys want to practice or just enjoy a game together. Closing out these queue changes, they will also be removing 4 stacks from the comp queue, as it is just too unfair to the lone soldier who will have to trudge through the match, especially with players who most likely won't be communicating with him because there's a 99% chance they're all in a Discord call together. Wow, so that's a lot to take in. Riot has been trying to fight Smurfs, elo boosters, and group rank grinders since the game launched, and I think these changes are them throwing their hands in the air and trying some big moves to see if it helps. From the looks of it on social media, much of the community is torn on these new changes. Many players like these changes because now there are no restrictions on playing with friends in Ranked. Some players love this new aspect of Ranked, as it will make Ranked less sweaty for some groups of friends. On the other hand, a lot more serious competitive players claim that these types of changes will inflate elo, because friends and elo boosters alike can be in Radiant and Immortal and spam games with their bronze and silver friends to raise their rank over time. But to be fair, all they have to do is get on a Smurf in the current system. So who knows if that's actually worse than just getting a Diamond or Immortal Reyna in your game. In our opinion, the positives outweigh the negatives here, so we'll just have to see how things turn out. Remember, it is a video game that you're supposed to have fun playing, and playing with friends with no restrictions is the easiest way to make that possible for everyone despite skill level. Yet as a competitor, I understand as well that ranked is supposed to be a representation of skill, and this dilutes that slightly. So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section down below. Moving on to the rest of the patch notes, observer agent icons will no longer all get stuck on the same agent when using minimal broadcast HUD. Observers now will have different HUD colors for attackers and defenders. Attacker abilities will show as red, and defender abilities will show as teal. There is now a yellow outline on the player icons on the minimap to showcase which player is the active target of an observer. Lastly, to wrap it up, there's some bug fixes across the board. For game system bug fixes, the devs have fixed a net SimTick aliasing issue where running above 128 frames per second could cause packet send rates to drop below the 128 FPS cap. For social bug fixes, they have fixed issues where you were able to re-invite players in a lobby that were already invited. And finally, for esports bug fixes, the devs have fixed a bug where the observer's minimap setting did not function. They have fixed a bug where the coaches could not use hotkeys to spectate a player inside of a deployed piece of utility. So for example, Cypher's Spy Camera, Sky's Trailblazer, or Sova's Owl Drone. And lastly, they have fixed a bug where pressing shift plus a player's number would not go to the proper cinematic camera for that player, if that player was being actively spectated. Although there weren't a lot of changes, Chambers released and these new ranked updates could totally change how we play Valorant from here on out. Well guys, that's all we have for the patch 3.10 rundown. It's been your host Sergeant Frost, and I will see you all again in the next one.